Hello and welcome to the Stronghold Digital Mining Daily Update. Today is Monday, July 8th, 2024. So we're back at it. We're going to be doing daily updates, or at least that's the goal. As you can see, this is reminiscent of how we first got started, having these conversations about Stronghold Digital Mining. Excuse the mess. This is a working room. This isn't like a museum where everything's just kind of neatly in place. I don't know about you, but I can sometimes not be very good about putting things back where they need to go after using them, and so things kind of get a little bit out of hand. If nothing else, our conversations will kind of force me to be a bit more tidy. It's kind of like that feeling when you know somebody's going to come over. So you're like, okay, I really better clean up because I don't want them to see the mess that exists, right, at any given point in time. It's really not that bad usually, but still. With all of that said, it is a blistering hot day here in eastern Pennsylvania. I don't have any sort of fan or AC on in this room at the moment, mainly so that we can have reasonably decent audio as we have our conversation. That being said, this room will progressively become warmer and warmer, so I'm going to try to keep this broadcast fairly short. Now, when we talk about blistering hot temperatures, the same cannot be said for our stock price, right? Shares of Stronghold Digital Mining under $4 a share, about $3.83, give or take a little bit, as of a little while ago. There's about 45 minutes left in the trading day. What really astonished me was that earlier today, I saw hash prices at 4 cents. That is really, really tough. So that brings us to the first potentially uncomfortable truth about Stronghold Digital Mining, as well as really every company in the publicly traded Bitcoin mining ecosystem, as well as privately held companies that are all vying for the same block reward, right, that we all are, right? Hash prices are a really, really big deal when it comes to Bitcoin mining. The fact that hash prices are this depressed and this low does not bode well for Stronghold Digital Mining as it specifically relates to our Bitcoin mining operations. The same is true for literally every company, right? That's mining Bitcoin. So that's an uncomfortable truth, potentially uncomfortable truth, because it kind of raises the question then of like, well, how viable does Stronghold Digital Mining have the potential to continue to be in an environment where hash prices are this low? In an environment where in June of 2024, we mined, I believe, a total of 61 Bitcoin and overall generated about $4 million in revenue. Now listen, let's back up for a second, right? In any reality, $4 million of revenue is phenomenal in any given month. But when you look at our traditional cost profile, $4 million in revenue is problematic. However, what we're not really clear on, and we won't be clear on until we get our Q2 2024 results, is what kind of cost profile does our company have when we have a plant like, for example, scrubgrass offline? Do costs dramatically come down or not? My expectation is that costs do come down, but still, $4 million in revenue is pretty tough. And so far in July, it looks like things are going to stay pretty tough. Now, the price of Bitcoin itself at $56,000, I mean, look, that's, look, I'm not going to sit here and say $56,000 per Bitcoin is a bad number, right? Because it's really not. But as we've discussed before, when you're in the Bitcoin mining business, it's not so much the price of Bitcoin, but really the network hash rate, right? Whatever fee rewards, are involved in the matrix or in the, the computation, in addition to like block rewards. So when you take the fee, block rewards, and then you sort of do all the computations. I know that sometimes I get very mathematical in our conversations. I'm promising not to do that today. But when you do all the math, it's kind of like if the network hash rate's pretty high, it doesn't really matter what the price of Bitcoin is, right? Like, unless it's, Bitcoin quadruples in price, you've got some challenges. And I think that's reflected in our hash price. Okay, now I did promise to keep this broadcast relatively short, but is there any silver lining as it relates to hash prices being this depressed? From my perspective, there is, because I think it essentially forces us as a company to really think long and hard as to whether or not we want to double and triple down on Bitcoin mining at this particular point in time. Okay. I did some computations based on Bitmain prices for S21 XPs, including coupons. We'd need about 35,000 of those machines to fill out all our data centers with the latest and greatest Bitmain machine, which I believe is shipping in October and December of this year. So we'd hypothetically be talking about going into the forward market. This is just for illustrative, purposes. With coupons, right? Hey, we're looking at over $200 million if one wanted to kind of get up to almost 10 exahash of Bitcoin mining capacity using our existing data center footprint. $200+ million, and then you look at the reward, 4-cent hash prices. Right? So the silver lining with hash prices being this depressed is that I think it's going to really force us. I know it's certainly forcing me to think long and hard about, hey, what kind of business do we want this to be going forward, assuming there's no acquisition or merger or anything along those lines. If we have to march forward as essentially as an independent company, how do we make that work? And I think the silver lining with hash prices being this low is that I think from a rational mathematical perspective, it kind of forces us to really think long and hard about how much deeper we want to get ourselves into this business of buying a bunch of Bitcoin mining machines, plugging them in, and hashing. And what's the reward as compared to the cost? Okay, my friend, it's good to be back. It is getting pretty warm in this room, so we're going to bring this broadcast to an end. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. In the meantime, as always, let's stay positive, let's be great, and we will see each other again soon. Tomorrow, actually. Bye for now.